Today I'll be reviewing One Piece episode 817, The Moist Cigarette, the night before Sanji's wedding. This episode was one of the saddest episodes of One Piece ever. It kind of reminded me of the episode where Ace died after finally being free. He was free and then died the next episode. Sanji finally had his ray of hope in this arc and then it was taken from him in this episode. Or to be more precise, it wasn't even there at all. It was all an act by Pudding, which we find out in this episode. So a lot of things were actually revealed in this episode. We find out why Luffy was gonna go as far as to rip his arms off, and what Big Mom's true intentions were with the Vinsmoke and about Pudding. So the episode starts off with Luffy and trying to rip his arms off, and they're just getting thinner. And he says that he doesn't want to lose everything and get killed by Big Mom here, and says that he's not a man who will die in a place like this. So that speaks volumes about Luffy, because I can't imagine Luffy saying something like that like early in the series. I'm pretty sure it's after his training with Rayleigh, the 2 years, that he's like has more self-awareness, I would say, and has become smarter. Because I remember back in the execution platform back in the East Blue Saga, well, he was just like, if I die, I die. He wasn't really worried. He just thought that if he died trying to achieve his dream, it was okay. But now I'm guessing he sees that it's not okay to just die here, locked up in a cage, because that would be pretty pathetic. Which is also another word to use to describe Sanji towards the end of the episode, seeing as he got fooled by Pudding the whole time. So after that, we switch over to Sanji, who's making food for her, his only ray of hope, and says that and tries to get it to her room, but the door won't let him in and says that it'll kick his butt. I don't even know how I would react to Sanji getting beat by a door. I like highly doubt any of the Straw Hats will get beat by a door, even Nami. So Sanji decides to go out to her balcony where she sees Rage, where she overhears Pudding laughing, and she sees Reiju inside. And we find out what Pudding really thinks of Sanji, and she says that she wouldn't marry a lowlife like him. And Sanji overhears this and looks devastated. He looks so done. Cause Sanji was calling her his ray of hope and says that she was his only salvation. And that says a lot, cause Sanji's never said anything like that. Even when Luffy first invited him to the crew to like help him accomplish his dream, he didn't say anything about salvation. He was just happy. Like, but he literally called Pudding his salvation, because after 13 years of hell, like he said, and then he joined Straw Hats for a while, and then he has to come back to all this, and then he finds out that he's forced to get married and has to leave his friends, who have been a family to him for the past 2 years. Sanji's going through too much right now, and then he finds out that his ray of hope, everything that, well, his only salvation is what he called her, is just has been a lie. So Sanji must be heartbroken. He must be torn. Just imagine what he's feeling right now. I honestly have no idea how I would react to what Sanji is going through right now. Sanji must be like lost in his own world of thoughts. So after that, Pudding says that she's Big Mom's favorite because of her acting skills, and that only her family knows that about her like true nature. While she was saying that, I was thinking, wouldn't one of Big Mom's favorites be one of the three sweet generals? Because I feel like if a Yonko had a child, their favorite would be the strongest. That's just me though. Unless Pudding is actually one of them. But she doesn't seem that strong. But you can never really judge a book by its cover. Anyways, then we get to Luffy, who says that he'll make Pudding pay at any cost. And I really can't wait to see what he does when he finally or eventually ends up free. So then we get a flashback of what Pudding whispered to them a few episodes ago, and it was that she won't get married to that idiot who played right into her hands, and says that she'll shoot him at the wedding, and she calls them pathetic rats and walks away. And this explains why one, Nami was crying, and two, Luffy looked so shocked and didn't understand what she was saying. Because whenever you like randomly blur something at Luffy, he never fully comprehends it, and then when he understands, he gets mad. And now he's mad to the point where he's willing to tear off his arms to go and save Sanji. After that, Pudding starts making fun of Germa in front of Reiju and says that Big Ma's only wants to get close so that she can get their army of clones and the scientific technology. And she says that was her plan from the start. And that since their whole kingdom is anchored on Whole Cake Island, that they'll be able to just take it easily now. And that it's all going according to Big Mom's plan. And tomorrow at the wedding, She plans on killing the Vinsmokes in front of everybody and says to make sure their blood doesn't get everywhere, because Big Mom will be mad if they ruin the cake. So Pudding's personality took a big 180. Like, seriously, I've never seen this in like any anime character, I think. She went from all sweet and nice to straight evil. And with acting like this, no wonder she just knows that she's Big Mom's favorite. Like, seriously, her personality took a twist. And I don't really get what's up with her third eye. I'm guessing she has a devil fruit power. Unless she's from some weird species or race that Big Mom married, and one of them just happened, they all have three eyes or something. Those are the only two options, personally, to me, as to why she would have three eyes. I'm leaning more towards the devil fruit powers because she's in Big Mom's crew, and all of them have devil fruit powers that we've seen so far, I think. So after that, she just starts making fun of Germa in front of Reiju and says that Big Mom was only after their technology and that they'll all be riddled with bullets by tomorrow. And she says he'll do it using her candy jacket bullets, which were designed to pierce through the Vinsmoke's metal enhanced bodies, which is how she was able to shoot Reiju in the leg. Then she starts mocking Sanji for trusting her and believing that she actually loved him this whole time, and Sanji's just outside hearing all of this. So Sanji poured his heart out to her and she's just making fun of it, like without him even knowing, behind his back, being fake with him basically, because it was all an act. And Sanji just hears all of this and he's just heartbroken and tries to light a cigarette, but it won't work because it's raining. So then she says, why didn't you at least bring me a decent prince? And Sanji, he's already considered himself a failure, so hearing that from someone who has finally accepted him probably hurt worse than hearing it from anybody else. And Reiju can't even bear to look at her the whole time as she's making fun of Sanji. Then we see Sanji outside trying to light a cigarette, but it's not working. He's just crying. And then we see him like crying, and they like pan out on his face, and we see like the tears falling down, and then he just blinks. And then the tears are just coming down. And the rain, and because of the rain, he can't even light his cigarette. And then the episode ends on a rose that was purple and fades to black, kind of like Sanji's heart, which was crushed by Pudding's lies. So this episode was easily one of the saddest episodes of One Piece, and probably the saddest episode of this whole arc. This whole arc has been like hardship and hardship for Sanji and Luffy as he's separated from half of his crew. Meanwhile, one member of his crew is being taken away by an emperor, and he's locked up in a cage and can't do anything. And I'm not sure what hurts Sanji more, the fact that he didn't stay with his friends who trust and loved him the whole time, or the fact that he's been like fooled by what he thought was his only salvation this whole time. And I really can't wait to see how Luffy is gonna basically free Sanji, and how Sanji is gonna make his way back, and how he's gonna apologize after he kicked Luffy and Luffy didn't strike back at all. So the only thing that I could say was positive that came out of this episode was Sanji. He probably won't want to join Big Mom's crew anymore, considering they plan on killing him anyway. Which means he could make his way back to the crew, because if Luffy would forgive him. So, like I've been saying, this is one of the saddest episodes of One Piece ever, and definitely an episode no one will forget anytime soon. A really heartbreaking episode. And in the next episode, it looks like Brook is going to be fighting Big Mom. I really can't wait to see what's going to happen with Brook, because he's been holding his own against an emperor. Well, I'm guessing this is all happening simultaneously at the same time. So, but Brook has technically been fighting an emperor for, I guess, this episode's worth of time. And I'm gonna stay by this decision right here. Brook will not be able to withstand Big Mom for a whole fight. If Luffy couldn't get on Doflamingo's level until he reached Gear 4, I don't think Brook is gonna be able to fight Big Mom, no matter what he pulls out. And last but not least, I want to talk about the art and animation for this episode. The art and animation for this episode was gorgeous. Just like with the last two episodes, this should be the One Piece standard. It shouldn't go from like really bad art to really good or to decent. It should always be at least this good all the time, especially because Toei is in charge of, where they own the rights to Dragon Ball Super and One Piece, two huge anime and manga series. So I'm pretty sure they have the money to do whatever they want with the animation. Within reason, that is. Overall, for the whole arc, from the opening to like regular episodes, it's been pretty good. So I'm hoping they keep this up, and hopefully they can do it throughout the arc, and this does become the One Piece standard. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I thought it was pretty good. So, anyways, let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and bye.